What can be better than getting positive feedback from a customer? Actually, what's scarier is what can be worse than receiving bad news from an account. Without a doubt, the feedback we get from customers is an important performance element as we evaluate the success of salespeople, our companies, and the product or service we're selling. In fact, it's probably at the top of the list since customer acceptance ties directly to orders we receive, which means revenue on our balance sheets. I guess if we really wanted to streamline the whole measurement process, we could just focus on customer feedback. That's somewhat true, but actually could be a bit misleading, which is why it's just a piece of the overall performance evaluation, along with all the others we're reviewing in this course. There is some firm objective data we can get from customers, but there's also a lot of subjective feedback too. We need to review it all before reporting on it or making decisions. One of the best ways to get subjective feedback goes back to the basics of the sales process, by assessing the situation, gathering information, asking questions, and most importantly, listening. There are many ways to do this, but here are 3 that I found to be effective for me. Account visits. You don't get feedback sitting at your desk or mired in meetings at the corporate headquarters. Yes, you can pick up things by email or by telephone, but nothing beats the face-to-face contact with your accounts. You can evaluate your salesperson, hear from buyers about their specific requests, and assess the situation in person. Business reviews. I've always believed that these are some of the best meetings you can have with accounts. Given the work to prepare for them from both sides, you're limited with how many can be scheduled, but the open and direct feedback is worth so much. The objective is to review the current state of the business and find ways to grow it going forward. So much performance information is a part of this process. Conventions, industry functions. Really subjective feedback here since you're often chatting with buyers and accounts in casual settings, ad hoc meetings, and in short time frames. However, you'd be amazed at what you'll hear when people are out of their normal office settings. Ask questions and listen. Depending on the type of business you're in and sales structure, surveys to customers can provide some real objective feedback. However, there's more to this than just having a page of questions and requests for opinions. There's a real skill to developing a survey, asking for the right information and how to evaluate it, and the best ways to report on it. My recommendation is to proceed with caution, and definitely hire someone who's an expert and can assist. I mentioned earlier that the most obvious customer feedback comes back to tracking the sales results. If a salesperson's results are off compared with other territories, that's a signal. If they're always coming in second in the decision process, maybe they're weak at closing. However, this indirect objective feedback from a customer can also be a reflection on your coaching and training or product or service offering. The feedback we get from customers is always valuable and can be a very effective way to get a handle of what's happening on sales calls. However, it's also important to account for the many variables that can impact this feedback. The information you request and compile is critical data as part of our overall performance evaluation of our sales team and business. Asking questions and listening closely to our accounts is an ongoing responsibility that you always must do.